Yo from Colorado, I'm live, about as live as I can be. I noticed that what I'm doing here takes about 18 seconds of lag time between what I say and when it goes out to you. So you're actually hearing me 18 seconds in the past. Yeah, so get right to it. Why are we taking a YouTube journey? And I call it a journey because it's not a vacation. It's not. It's not going to the beach for a couple of weeks. I have in-laws right now that are at the beach or at a hotel with a pool down in Florida, taking a vacation, and they're enjoying every little bit of it. But after a couple of weeks, then they're going to come back and they're going to go back to doing what they do. This YouTube journey is a journey. It is not a vacation. It is not a, you get the idea, I think. It's not a short-lived thing. It's not a quick thing where you go out and you're just full-time in it for just a short period of time, like a vacation, then you come back. It's not that. It's a journey, and a journey takes time, and a journey takes effort. Now, I'm going to open up for some questions if we have people joining me, and that'd be absolutely great if people are joining me. But right now, it's just me and you if you're watching this after the fact. So I'm going to join the Really Bad Analogy Club. Yes, not on purpose, but the Really Bad Analogy Club. Because I wanted to come up with an analogy to try and remember these 5 things about taking a YouTube journey. And I should have started this analogy 3 weeks ago so I could get it right. But I didn't start it 3 weeks ago. And it's not 100% anyway. It's not 100% there, but it is a good analogy, I think. You'll have to tell me whether it's a good analogy or a bad analogy. Just drop a comment and say, man, Bill, that was a really bad analogy. Or you could say, hey, I get it. It was a really good analogy. But the idea is taking a YouTube journey, and why I started the journey myself is I want to get to a point where I have enough subscribers and enough followers and enough watch hours so that I can monetize myself on YouTube. I want to create several different things, small streams of income that may grow. I have a goal for making so much, and what I wanted to do is supplement my retirement income. That's what I wanted to do. Now I'm 67 years old. I can be doing this when I'm 87 years old. And I will absolutely love it. I love doing it now. So that's my primary reason for doing this. And I'm doing this in a niche where I help other people. I think it's an absolute waste of time if you're going to go on YouTube and start a channel and you're not helping other people. For one thing, I don't think people will watch. You never know. You want to help other people. YouTube is, I think, the second largest search engine used as a search engine. People go either onto Google and search for something, which very interestingly, when you do that, videos pop up from YouTube, or you just go on YouTube yourself and say, hey, where is this? Or what about this? Or how do I do this? So here's the bad analogy. 5 points to help you remember about why you should start your own YouTube channel. You get on YouTube yourself. This is the process that I went through and why I'm doing it. And I just want people to join me, and I want to help people join me. So with that in mind, here's the 5 things. It's an analogy. And think of it this way. It's a journey. It's not a vacation. It's a journey. It's long-term. YouTube is not it's not a quick thing. It's a long ride. That's why it's not a vacation. It's not a weekend getaway. It's a journey. It's going to take some time. It's a slow burn, but you'll get there eventually. And my goal is to get there eventually, and I know I will. And I'll tell you how I know that now. I will tell you that I know that right now. Even where I am right now, I know that this is going to happen. And I'll tell you why later on. So, on with the bad analogy. First, There's got to be a destination. I didn't know that would pop up right on my forehead. It looks like I'm wearing a really bad hat. Anyway, there's got to be a destination, and you think about a journey. And so this is your why. This is you answering why. Why do I want to do this? And I told you why I want to do it. I want this to eventually create some retirement income. This is me. I'm making a home on YouTube where I help people make a home on YouTube. This is my goal. This is my destination, helping other people doing what I'm doing. If that kind of makes sense. But Stephen Covey, in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I think the very first one of those 7 habits is begin with the end in mind. Where's this going to be in 10 years? So have some goals for it. Where's this going to be in 5 years? Where is this going to be in 10 years? Where's it going to be? And that's where you want to, that's what you want to think. Think about this is a destination. If you're going to go on a journey, think about where you're going to be in 5 years. Think about where you're going to be in 10 years. If you're going on a trip, you don't just buy a plane ticket anywhere. I suppose you could, but you don't just buy a plane ticket anywhere. You buy it to a specific destination. And for me, it's stamped on my forehead. Must be an island somewhere. I'm all for a nice tropical island. That'd be kind of cool. But the very first thing is the destination, and this is you answering why. Why do I want to do this? And if you're even thinking about it, thinking about sharing how to maintenance a car, you could make a YouTube channel simply out of vehicle maintenance. You could do that, and it would be absolutely fantastic. And you could, have a really good and a very useful YouTube channel doing that. It could be a hobby that you've got. It could be pet grooming. It could be how to train your pet. It could be how to let the cat out in the morning, although that would be a lot of very short videos. But cat videos were very popular in the early days. I'm just saying. So the first thing is your why. What is your destination? And it's not a vacation. It's a destination. It's a journey. Like I said, it's a really bad analogy, but I think it works. That's why I'm sharing. If I didn't think it works, anyway, and again, make a comment. Tell me whether this is a good analogy or a bad one. But I'll guarantee you'll remember it, whether it's good or bad. So the first is the destination. Know your why. Second, plan the trip. Now, if you're planning a trip somewhere, let's say you're going to Hawaii. I went to my wife and my daughter and we went to Hawaii 5-6 years ago. Thoroughly enjoyed it. My wife and daughter fell in love with paddleboarding, and I fell in love with not paddleboarding. Yeah. Think of a white guy, very Canadian, very white-skinned. I don't tan. I go from white to red, and then I peel back to white. That's me, and I'm in Hawaii on a paddleboard. There's no shade out there. I'm wearing a beach sweater, is what they call it. The long sleeve, everything, for the simple reason that I didn't want to turn red. I had a big brimmed hat on. I had everything that could shade me from the sun. I just wasn't having a good time. Now, I enjoy Hawaii as long as I can sit in the shade and sip drinks, I guess, sip some Arnold Palmers and some iced teas and stuff like that. So, but plan the trip. Now, if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, what kind of channel is it going to be? What kind of idea are you going to portray? Whether, like I said, whether it's here's how to maintenance your car, or here's how to do this, or here's how to do something else. Come up with some ideas, some things that you have a long-term interest in doing. Not just something that, well, hey, I got this idea about doing this one thing that I did once. Maybe not. It's something about what you want to do that you have done, and you have a skill set in it. And you want to, you have a lot of knowledge. Like I'm 67, I got a lot of knowledge in a lot of areas, and I'm going to share a lot of that stuff as I do this. But the second thing is, first of all, if you've chosen a destination, you know your why, and you're firm on your why. The very next thing is to plan a trip. What kind of channel, what kind of YouTube channel are you going to make? What kind of videos are you going to make? So I got just a small list. You could do how-to or instructional videos. How to do this, how to do that. Let me show you the 5 steps to doing this. That idea. It could be inspirational. You could just get on here and read scripture. You'd be amazed at how many people will tune in every day or every week just to listen to somebody read scripture for them and pray. You could do that. And that would be a really cool thing. I've thought about doing it myself on another channel because it's not the focus of this channel. So it could, it could be inspirational. It could be controversial. And man, you'd probably get a lot of people in your comments if you start tackling some very controversial thoughts like politics or world political affairs or world economic affairs, all kinds of things where people have tons of different opinions, tons of different things going on. When I think of inspirational, I think, and I try to avoid this at all costs. But if you want to talk about controversial, you could talk about different denominations within the church body, as it were, and some of them aren't in the church body at all. You could argue with me about that, but again, not on this channel. It's not what my focus is. But you kind of get the idea. I read somewhere, and this was many, many years ago, that there are over 300 Baptist denominations, just Baptists alone, 300 different denominations because they disagree on stuff. Talk about controversy. Let's just talk about the differences between 300 or so Baptist denominations. And then there's the independent Baptist denominations. And you could go on and on and on. So you could do something on controversy. If that's your thing, have a real thick skin and go ahead if that's where your passion is. But you got to go back to your destination, and that is, why are you doing this? Are you doing something very controversial because you want to get a lot of likes and a lot of comments, or are you doing it because you actually want to help somebody? Why are you doing it? So you could do something that's controversial. You could trying to convince people of something that is very off the edge. Maybe you're a conspiracy theorist. I've listened to a few myself, and yeah. So anyway, enough of that. It could be a faceless one where you're not on camera, and a lot of people are saying, "Man, I'm really comfortable about not being on camera." And I got over that fairly early. I said, "Whatever. I can't change how I look. I can wear a hat. I could use makeup. Why would I use makeup?" And I just noticed something. I'm going to kill the bright on me just a little bit. I'm going to dial down the bright. So, but anyway, secondly is plan your trip. Is it faithful? Is it a vlog? What you do every day? Some people follow vlogs and say, I'm really interested in this person's life. Whether your vlog is walking every day or going to a certain thing or going to stores or whatever it is you do, you better have somewhat of an exciting life and live in, like, for me, following a blog of somebody living in Kansas, probably not my thing. Probably not. Kansas is so flat you can look west on Tuesday and see what the weather's going to be like for the weekend. That's the excitement level I get of Kansas. No slam on Kansas. I have some friends who live in Kansas, but it might not be the best thing for vlogs. So be creative. So plan your trip. What kind of channel are you going to do on YouTube? That's part of the journey. So you've got the destination, you're going to plan the trip, and then you're going to buy the ticket. I've got a pretend ticket right here. Bought the ticket. Now this is you. This ticket represents you making a tangible contribution to what you're doing. And it may not be money, but the way I see it is, when you've bought the ticket, you've actually gone onto YouTube and you've created your channel. You've decided what you're going to do. You've decided you've decided what you're going to do, the destination. You've decided what it's going to be about. You made the commitment. You made the decision. Excuse me. Now you're actually going to go on and you're going to create that channel. I'm going to make some videos in the coming weeks, I think, that's going to just walk you through the whole process of how to set up a YouTube channel. And that is for you. That's buying the ticket. I got the ticket. I got it. Now the ticket, you can hold the ticket all day long and never use it. You could buy a ticket for an airplane ride and never get on the plane. So at this point, you're not really committed. You're not really, are you? You've spent some time, you've put some effort into it, but doubt is starting to creep into your mind and maybe a few things like that. Then you sit on it. I have another YouTube account where I've set up a channel and I've put absolutely nothing on it. Absolutely nothing. Yet. That's the ticket I've bought, but I haven't cashed it in yet. I haven't used it. So, for you, buy the ticket, take some time, set up the channel, create the channel that you want. Fourth, go to the airport. No, if we're talking about a destination ticket, like I said, the analogy is this: go to the airport, and you're thinking, well, I've already bought the ticket. The airport is for me. Going to the airport is, hey, the plane leaves. I look at my ticket, and I go, the plane leaves at 5:30. Now they tell you get to the airport, get checked in 2 hours before the plane leaves. My wife is adamant about getting to the airport at least 2 hours. Going on a trip, the proper definition of going on a trip is the idea of hurry up and wait. Hurry up, wait. Hurry up to get to the airport, wait. Hurry up, get in line and wait. Hurry up, get through TSA. Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. And you get to the gate and you wait. So that's the idea. But in this analogy, the idea of going to the airport has to do with scheduling. You've bought the ticket, you've set it all up, but now you've got to make the decision about when this plane's leaving. It's a schedule. You've got to say, I'm going to make my first video on Friday. I'm going to upload it on Saturday. And I'm going to make it public on Sunday, I guess. Or you could do it all. I'm going to do the video on Friday morning. I'm going to upload it Friday afternoon, and I'm going to make it public Friday evening. You could do it that way, which would be kind of great. So go to the airport. That has everything to do with keeping the schedule that you have set. Because you've bought the ticket, there's no sense having it and not going on it. This is a journey. The journey begins with a first step. And these are the first, let's say, 5 steps on the journey. You go to the airport, and finally, you get on the plane. This is where you do your first video, put it up on your channel, and make it public. Yeah, now it's out there. Now it's out there. And that is absolutely fantastic. So those 5 things, you've got the you've got the destination, you've got you plan the trip, you've got to buy the ticket, go to the airport, get on the plane. And once you get on the plane, I learned this from a movie, whether it's accurate or not, sounds kind of accurate. Fact check me later. Tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Make a comment. Tell me whether I'm right or wrong. But once they close the plane doors and you want off, it's going to cost you lots of money. Lots of money. It's going to cost. It's going to cost. That sounds about right. They close the door and all of a sudden you want off. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So once you get on the plane, you're committed. Let's just say this. You're committed. So do the video. Put it up there. Don't buy the ticket and sit on it for 3 months. Don't make the channel and not do anything with it. The action is what gets results. So for me, every week, I'm still trying to work out a weekly schedule. It kind of looks like it's going to be Thursdays at 3 o'clock for me. It might not be the best time, but I'm working that out with family and the commitments I have with my family and my daughter and my granddaughter, who's absolutely amazingly cute, as she should be. And so I'm working out all of these things to try and come up with a weekly time where I can come and I know that I'm going to be here. Now, this is next week is Thanksgiving. Probably won't do it on Thanksgiving. I'll have to figure out another time for when I'm going to do it next week. So maybe the times will change next week. I don't know. But I'm committed to being on here and being of service to whoever watches every week, along with the videos that I make and put up as well, all on the same thing. So I've made my decision, and this is why, like I said, this is why. For me, and I guess for you, if you're going to take this journey, before you take the journey, you have to decide that you're going to love this process. You have to actually love making videos, or you'll stop doing it over time. Especially for me going into my retirement years, I don't want to do something that is a drudgery, which is why I'm not doing a YouTube channel on gardening. I hate gardening. I have a black thumb. When I walk by gardens, they die on purpose. They die. The Bill's here, black thumb. They just give up. Plants wilt when I walk by, and I'm talking about the plastic ones, not even the real ones. It's bad. I am not a good gardener. Could I learn? Sure. I suppose I could learn, but I'd still hate it. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I love it when the fall comes and there comes a point where I don't have to mow the lawn every week. So you've got to love this journey. You've got to love the journey that is the YouTube journey. You have to love the idea of saying, hey, I'm in this for the long term. I'm in this for the long run. I'm going to run with it. I'm going to start making videos. I'm going to start becoming consistent. That goes with the idea of scheduling that first video. Once you schedule your first video and you put it up there, you get on the plane, so to speak, and you put it up there, then what you want is a weekly schedule where you are extremely consistent. You have to like the process. You have to like doing it. So be consistent in what you're doing once you start. And I got this phrase from an internet friend of mine that I've spent a little bit of time with. I really enjoy his work, and he says this. He says, "Start and stop stopping." So simple, and yet so true. Start, stop, start, stop. Now I've started and stopped this channel a couple of times, and this is third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. I'm not stopping this time. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to find any excuses or any reasons to not keep going. And I at this point I see nothing in the foreseeable future for me to stop. So I've started and stopped stopping. And like I said, this is a journey, not a vacation. This is a journey that you take, and it's 1,000 steps, and it begins with the first step, and that's what this is. For you, just making the decision, I'm going to do this. I have something I want to share with the world. Now, I got a video that's going to be coming out. I'm actually going to be filming and editing and putting this video up tomorrow. And it's going to be on all the excuses. Not just an excuse, but all the excuses people do for not doing YouTube, for not doing this. All kinds of excuses. You've heard them. You've said some of them yourself. I know you have. So at this point, I'm going to pretty much stop. I'm going to keep going. I just said I was going to stop, and then I said I was going to keep going. No, I'm going to call this a day. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you were able to go back and watch it. Be sure to make a comment. By the way, my name's Bill. I live in Colorado. I live in the Front Range. I look east and it's flat. I look west and it's the mountains. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And I thank God every day when I look at those mountains. I thank God for everything that he's done for me and for bringing me here. I've always said that coming to Colorado was the worst decision of my life and the best decision of my life. And I've just determined at one point that forget about the worst. It's been the best. So make a comment. Tell me what you think about my bad analogy of destination, plan the trip, buy the ticket, go to the airport, get on the plane, and what that means to taking the YouTube journey. And let's just start the conversation. I'll answer any and all comments that you have. Other than that, this is Bill saying, have a great day, have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. And look for that video on excuses coming up.